everybody, Tina here with Two Chicks and a Cricut, and this is our Stampin' Up! Friday, and I'm going to be doing a review of a couple of their other products, and these reviews are just really me sharing with you guys my opinion on their products that I have been using. So I recently switched to their trimmer. I'm going to be talking about their trimmer today, and then I'm also going to be talking about their designer paper series, as well as I'm using a stamp set from them today. So I recently switched to their trimmer. I've used a lot of 12-inch trimmers since I started scrapbooking, and I had never really found one that I loved. For a long time, I used the ProvoCraft 12-inch trimmer, which worked fine. There was a little getting used to using it. The blade, you had to kind of lift it up a little bit as you used your paper, and then it was a little bit thinner than this. And I also had used the Creative Memories trimmer, and I had been looking for a new trimmer, and Wendy suggested the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, and I got it, and I actually really, really love it. And it's a little bit wider than most of the trimmers that I had used. And then I also really love all of the measurements that it has on there, and then it has an arm that swings out as well. The one thing that I don't necessarily like about it is their 5-inch mark on here is not marked. Because it's right on the edge here, and I tend to use 5 inches a lot, I notice, because I'm always having to double check to make sure I'm on my 5-inch mark. But other than that, which isn't a big deal, I mean, it's clear that it's on there, I just tend to have to take a little bit extra time sometimes to double check that. Their blade life is really great. I got this back in, I think I got it in May, and I've not changed my blade yet. And it's getting, I mean, I really need to. I'm kind of at a point where I really need to. But I haven't changed it, and I've used it quite a bit. So their blade life is really actually pretty good. And then I'm using their designer paper. I've talked about this before in my videos. I just recently got the Regal collection. We had a Stampin' Up! Club last Friday night, and it was one of the things that I ordered, and I got it because I'm doing some fall stuff, and I wanted some of the Regal colors to do some stuff. So I have the Regal collection, and I also have the Subtle collection, which I used this spring, and I just keep all mine together. You can see I have pieces, and I just use a clip, and I keep all mine together, and I just keep it in the pack. And then I'm going to be using this stamp set, and I actually just went by Wendy's tonight, and I had seen that she had just got this, and I'm going to be using a stamp. It says, "You are such a blessing in my life." So we're going to be making a really fun little goodie bag, but it's kind of a different take on a goodie bag. So you guys know that I know I always see the goodie bags that have the top folded over the clear bag, which are fun to make, but I kind of get bored making, like, they're all I ever see. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I'm also trying a new angle with my camera, so hopefully we'll see how this goes. So I just have a brown bag, and I'm going to trim it down. And I just want it to be about a 9.5-inch bag. So I'm just using the trimmer, and I'm just going to trim it down. Also, I'll be showing you how their paper cuts on the Cricut. And I'm going to take a bone folder. And so you can see my bag now just has a little flap. Then I have this Martha Stewart border punch, and I'm just going to border punch the very top of this bag. So now I have my bag that is punched up top. So I have some, this is Cajun Craze color of Stampin' Up, and I just measured my bag. I just kind of eyeballed it, and this was a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and all I did is I just eyeballed it a little bit and then cut it down. I didn't really measure, but I am going to trim this a little. I don't want it to be that long. And maybe all bags, you could do this with any other kind of bag you wanted. So now I have it where it looks like this. And I want it up under the flap so that the color will show. And I'm just going to take, I have a color box chalk ink, and it is in Chestnut Roan, which is one of my favorite brown inks. And then what I've done is I have, this is a 2-inch strip, and I decided at the last minute that I was going to go ahead and punch this as well, which I wasn't originally going to do this, but it made it to where the bag coordinated, the top and the bottom coordinated. And then I have a Dusty Durango ink pad, and this is a color that is currently discontinued. I got it on eBay because I love the color. It's like, it could totally be my signature color. And I just took a ink dauber, like you guys always see me do. And I just, oh, I'm still going to need this. I just went around the edges. So I'm going to take some ATG gun. And I'm attaching this to the very bottom of my bag. And then I have a little, this is just a 1-inch strip. Now these designer papers they're very simple. And that's what I love about them. They're double-sided. So you have a, let's get the Regal collection out because it's a little bit darker. So you have a polka dot pattern, and then this is like a word, it's little words. I don't have my good camera set up, so you guys can't really see it. And it is really small anyways. I'm not sure you could be able to see it even if I had my good camera set up. But they're just little words. And so it almost makes, this is a cherry cobbler color, and it almost makes it look like it's a lighter color than what it is with the writing. And then there's this design, and then stripes. And so it's very simple, and that's what I like it because it goes with everything. I love these polka dots. So I've just used the other side. So there's this pattern, and then the other side is stripes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the stripes, put a little bit of adhesive on here, and I'm just putting it right at the top of my other designer paper. So it's going to look like this. Now I have and I'm actually going to trim this down just a little bit. I made it too big. This is going to go right at the top. And again, I'm just going to take my top. And you can see how that turned out. So next, I've cut out on my Cricut a pumpkin, and I'm going to show you guys that right now. Alright, so here I am at my Cricut, and I wanted to show you guys Stampin' Up! Paper cutting on the Cricut. It is super good paper. I love using my Cricut with this paper. And so I have a piece of more mustard cardstock on my mat, and it's already loaded. And I'm going to cut out a pumpkin from Speaking of Fall, and I am going to cut it at 5.5 inches. Alright, so let's just look at how easily it pops up. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. Alright, hold on one second. Okay. So there's my pumpkin. And it's up. And you can see it just cuts out beautifully. It is great paper to use with your Cricut. Okay, so now that I've showed you guys how the paper cuts out on the Cricut, I have these two items. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a little bit of chalk. And I'm going to chalk. Then I'm just going to add the top of my pumpkin. Yep. Okay, so then I'm going to add my pumpkin to the bag. And you could use pop dots to do this if you wanted. I'm allowing it to just set right on my second strip of paper. And then I cut this tag out. And I cut this tag out of Very Merry Tags, actually, because that was what was in my Cricut. And I have this stamp that says "You're a blessing in my life." And I'm taking some brown Stampin' Up! Ink. And I'm just going to stamp right on this tag, and I'm going to attach it. That was my computer. Sorry, my speakers are up really loud. I'm going to attach it right here. And I'm just going to use a little bit of ATG gun. And you could add ribbon to your tag. Just like that. So now you have this bag, and you open it up. And there you could put in cookies or whatever it was that you wanted to give out. And it's just a little bit different type goodie bag. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some other Stampin' Up! Products. Here's how the bag would look. And as you guys know, I'm giving away blog candy for my Stampin' Up! Review posts. So you have 4 chances to win. Each Friday of November, you can go and on my Stampin' Up! Reviews for November, leave a comment under that post. You cannot leave a comment on my YouTube channel. You have to leave it on my blog, 2chicksandacricket.blogspot.com, and leave me a comment and a way to get a hold of you. 4 chances to win, and at the end of November, I will pick a winner and send you guys a stamp set. So thanks guys for tuning into the blog, and we'll see you next Friday for another Stampin' Up! Review.